Hey, how's everybody doing this beautiful Saturday morning? I'm super excited to be here to learn some more from the millionaire maker, Eddie Freeman, about how we can grow our business and be successful and earn that 6 and 7 figure income that we all dream about. So, Eddie Freeman, take it over, my brother.
Yo, Jay. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. And thank you all. Listen, I know it's summertime and it's 12 o'clock in the afternoon, and there's a lot of things you could be doing that are not listening to a training. But I think people are here because they want to make money. And I've been fortunate. I got to tell you, over the years, I have helped 35,000 people earn residual income that are earning it to this day. I've helped 32 people become millionaires. But you know what? I haven't helped everybody. As a matter of fact, if I look at my entire downline, I'd say that maybe 35,000 of those people, maybe I didn't help make much money at all. So when you look at, I helped half of them make residual income, and then 1% of those people become millionaires. Maybe I'm not doing that well. But the key is, are you coachable? You know, I find something interesting. Okay. I'm looking at the people that are on this call right now and others that are not, that are in, they get on all our weekly calls, but they're not here yet because I know they're going to show up. And almost every one of them pretty much came in the same way. I want to start with Jay. Now, keep in mind, there's more than one way to do the business. Mine is not the only way. People become successful using many, many different ways of building the business. Okay. But I want to think about all of you that are here. And if I look at the 100 something people that are in our company, how did they come in? Let's think about this. So, how did Jay get started? Well, he got a phone call from a guy named Bruce, which was a friend of his. And what Bruce did was got him on a three-way call with me. And he signed up with a three-way call. Let's see. There's Marissa. Oh, let's look at Carol. How did Carol get in? Well, Jay spoke to Carol, got on a Zoom, and the second that Zoom was over, he got Carol on a Zoom with his upline, which was me. All right, let's see. There's Marissa. How did Marissa come in? Did Marissa answer a thing on Facebook that says, "Oh my gosh, this is blah"? No, she didn't. She didn't. What she did is she got on a three-way call with her upline, me. How did Becky come in? Well, let's see. Gregory enrolled Becky. What did he do? He got her on the phone with a three-way call with me. How'd Justin come in? Huh. John Capadonna got him on a three-way call with his upline. How did Maribel come in? How did Becky get Maribel in the business? Well, let's see. She got Maribel on a three-way call with her upline. How did Kim come in? How did Becky get Kim? She got Kim on a three-way call with her upline. I see Pastor Brown. How did Pastor Brown come in? Well, let's see. This guy, Greg, got him on the phone with his upline. How did Stuart come in? Becky got him on the phone with her upline. How did Leon come in? Gregory got Leon on the phone with his upline. Are you seeing anything here? Look at the people that are on the call right this second. How did Ming come in? How did John come in? It just so happened that they spoke to me, and both Ming and John have been on the phone with my upline. So, who's not here? Everybody else. I want you just to think about that. See, when I try to share something with people, share information, I don't want you to blindly follow me. I want to have it so that when I share something with you, it makes sense. I don't want you to blindly follow. I want you to look, how did Richard Spinelli come in? Well, we're old friends. Bottom line is, most of you, all of you on this call, have done three-way calls with an upline. Now, how many of you came in because they saw something on Facebook about Mojo or travel or gut health? If you want to go the easy route, and I'm not, please, don't think that I'm saying don't use social media, because social media is one of the tools. But my question is, are you really coachable? I was on the phone with somebody the other day, and they said, wow, you've helped 32 people become millionaires, Eddie. That is so wonderful. And I said, do you know why I haven't helped 33 people become millionaires? I said, why? I said, because I haven't found that 33rd one that was coachable yet. Oh, I might have found a couple of them just recently, but over the years I haven't. Everybody says they're coachable. And then they do portion of what you tell them to do, and then they don't. Any of you from New England have been driving in snow before? Now, this is interesting, and I see we got a bunch of New Englanders here, or people that have been in New England. There's an interesting thing that happens when you're driving in snow, and that is when you start to go in a skid. So let's say you're driving your automobile and your car starts skidding to the right, okay? What is your first instinct? Well, your first instinct, what seems right to you, is I got to turn my wheel to the left because my car is going to the right. But if you've ever driven in a snowstorm in New England and your car skids to the right, Richie Spinelli will tell you, John Capadonna will tell you, you don't go to the right. You don't steer away. You steer into the skid and then you get out of the skid. It makes no sense. You're thinking, I'm skidding to the right, I got to turn my wheel to the left. But the truth is, you turn it to the right. Now, if I tell you that, you're either going to do it or you're not. I have no control over that. All I can do is give you the recipe. For example, how many of you have listened to the Road to Ruby more than once? How many of you, when you enroll a new person, have them listen to Road to Ruby? The very first training that was done, remember, Jay put out a whole training set where you can listen to all the recorded trainings. They're titled, they're labeled. When a person comes in the business, what you want to do is get them connected with your upline and your upline's upline and get them on the Road to Ruby training. Why? Because that seals the deal. You need to let your people know there is a track to run on, okay? You need to keep people connected. Let me tell you something. I've dealt with a lot of Amway people over the years, okay? And here's what I know about Amway that's interesting to me. I found it fascinating for years. You go to the average Amway distributor and you ask them, how's it going? And they'll tell you, well, I'm making about $75 a month, but I've only been in for about 5 years. And you look at that and say, you're making $75 a month, and 5 years later, you're still in Amway? Are you kidding me? $75 a month. So, how do the Amway people keep their people in the business long enough? Because I don't care what deal you go to, you could be in 5 deals at once. None of them, and I repeat, none of them, are you going to start making $10,000 a month your first month. It just doesn't happen. First, you recruit them. Then you hope the product is good enough that they stay on the product. You may get big fast cashes. And I said this our first month when I saw people with big checks, yes. But maybe you're not the same recruiter those guys are. And you're not going to make $2,500 in your first month. It's residual income. You have to keep people connected. You know how Amway people keep their people connected? For years, they had them go to opportunity meetings. Well, we don't have opportunity meetings. We have Zooms. And the mantra was, if you had a bad week, you need the opportunity meeting. If you had a good week, the opportunity meeting needs you. In other words, if you've gone out and enrolled 3 people this week, you need to let me know so I can get you to do a testimonial on our Zooms. I don't know everybody that's lost 10 pounds. I don't know everybody that's lost 5 pounds in 2 weeks. How can I know that? You need to tell me. But that's how Amway did it. You know what else they did? They had people buy tapes. We don't have tapes. We got training calls. And you need to listen to them. Do you know that you need to know that people need to stay connected, or else they're going to jump from company to company to company to company. Okay? I'm not saying that you can't be a part of more than one company and make a little bit of money in each one. I know that you can, especially if you get lucky in one. But if you want to make a lot of money, you get in a company and you work it, and you don't get discouraged. You don't send mixed signals. You want to be in a situation where people stay connected. Now, why do I like the Road to Ruby training so much? Is it that I like my voice so much? No, not at all. But it gives you the basics of the business. Are you speaking to 2 people a day? Remember, the Road to Ruby is based on sound business principles, logic, common sense. You speak to 2 people a day, and this is what's going to happen. I've laid it out. If you heard it once, you need to listen to it again. And if your upline hasn't suggested you listen to it, you need to. And you tell your upline, no, this is what we need to duplicate. First thing they need to listen to, everybody, the Road to Ruby, because I lay out how to enroll 4 people, and then we duplicate that process. And it's not by just going the easy way. The easy way, you might think, is, hey, I'll just throw stuff on social media, on Instagram, on Facebook, and everybody's going to want to join. How many people are here right now? As I'm looking, every one of you got a phone call from somebody. Every one of you. Not one of you joined from Facebook. Every one of you joined because you got a call. Am I making sense to you? Does this make sense to you? You need to contact people. Is it more difficult? Heck yeah. Why do you think I talked about rejection and obstacles? People say no. Remember, no one says no to you on Facebook. You put an ad on Facebook, they either respond or they don't. And you're going to get the same X amount of people that are looking every single day at your Facebook page. But if you make a phone call, is it more difficult? Oh, yeah, it sure is. But is it more effective? Well, look who's on the call today. Look who's on every call. Look who gets on the Zooms. If you have a prospect only through Facebook and you haven't spoken with them and got them on the phone with your upline, guess what they're not going to do? They're not going to get on a Zoom. They're just not. Because there's no connection. Keeping the group connected is what is going to make the group grow. Also, when you speak to people that are familiar with binary comp plans, okay, you're always going to find people, what leg am I going on? I mean, I got to be on a power leg. There is no such thing as a power leg. I want to make that clear. For those of you that think I need to be on somebody's power leg, I need to be on Eddie's power leg, there's no such thing. Why? Because nobody wants to place people in a power leg, right? They want to place them in the other leg. Don't be worried. If you listen to the Road to Ruby, the cycle of duplication, the power of 2, what do I say? You talk to 2 people a day. And at the end of a month, Here's what's going to happen. I guarantee it. With phone calls, you will speak to 60 people. 25% of those people that you call and answer the phone don't care if you are giving away diamonds for free. And that's okay, because we're going to subtract 25%, 15 from 60, and now you got 45 left. Of the 45 people that tell you they're going to be on the Zoom, guess what? Third of them won't be there. They won't show. They just didn't have the heart to say no to you, or the guts. Let's keep it clean for this. They didn't have the guts to say no to you. All right. So now let's subtract a third of those 15 from 45. That leaves 30. Of the 30 people that watch a Zoom that you follow up with your upline with, because you don't just blindly put them on the Zoom. I say, Richard, if you're going to get on the Zoom Monday night, it's over at 8:30. Can I call you when it's over? Or is Tuesday better? You're setting up the follow-up call. There's nothing for chance here. And then Richard will tell you when he wants to speak again. Of the 30 people that hear and see the same information that got us excited, 26 of them are not going to be interested. That's okay, because 4 people will enroll in the business. How do you place those 4 people? Let's assume that you were frontline to the company and you had to build everything on your own. Let's assume you're never going to get one drop of spillover from your upline, that you got to build 2 legs because you are the master distributor of your own business. Here's what you do. You put 2 in the left and 2 in the right. Which 2? Doesn't matter. 2 in the left, 2 in the right. Why? Because this binary is constructed differently than any in the industry. In most of these binaries, yeah, you just enroll 1, put your great-grandfather over there who's not even alive, but stick him on auto ship and blah, 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 blah. You got your 1. No. If you want to make $1,000 to $7,000 a month, as we want you to, as within by Christmas, then you need 2 in your left and 2 in the right. That's it. And then you've enrolled 4 people in a 28-day period. You have frenzied. You have made your money back. And now, what do we do with these 4 people? Get them to watch the Road to Ruby training. Guys, it is so simple. It's not how many people you enroll that is important. It is the duplication process that will make you or break you. I promise, I came up with this system because I have a close friend that is the most charismatic salesman you've ever met in your life. And this guy could come into any company and enroll 30 people just because his presentation is so good. But what are those 30 people going to do? They're going to attempt to do what he did. And they don't have his gift of communication skills. And they don't have his $1 million smile, his attitude, his positive charisma. And 3 people say no and they quit. You need a system, a cycle of duplication. I didn't name it that by accident. It's a cycle of duplication, 2 and 2. And then what happens? We teach them to do the same, who do the same. And the next thing you know, you're a real Ruby making. When I say real, I mean all, not just on the startups, not just 500 for a founder's pack and 400 for $1,000 pack and the $100 that come in. I'm talking about people on subscriptions, on auto ship, which is why I have enrolled, I don't know, close to 20 people now in my 2 months. Guess how many of them are on auto ship? Guess how many? 19 of them. Do you know what that means? I'm going to have residual income. Why? Because they're on auto ship. They're on a subscription. I didn't forget that part. Sometimes we're so excited to get them in that we forget that part. Jay did a great presentation that I saw. The first one I ever did, that I ever saw him do, was on some kind of Facebook Live that I don't even know what that is, right? And he talked about subscriptions and how important that is. And he's right. Because if you enroll somebody, I want you to think about this. If you enroll somebody on a 250 pack, you got 100 points that month. If you enroll them on a 1,000 pack, you get 400 points that month. If you enroll them on a founders pack, you get 500 points that month. But is that residual? No. You know what is residual? Subscriptions. Subscriptions. Does this make sense? Am I making sense to you? Am I hitting home? You don't just enroll somebody. If I enroll somebody on a $250 package or a $299 package, I'm going to say to them, you want to get paid, get on a subscription. You can change your subscription at any time. Get one mojo and one armor. That's it. You can change it. You can get two mojo and no armors. You can get two armors and no mojos. You don't love the product, but you want to make some money, you get 2 travel points. You can get 1 travel point. Go on 125, but go on a subscription. That's what you want duplicated. I want you to make residual income, not one-time money. I don't want you to make $2,500 one month and the next thing you're making nothing. Why? Because you didn't think about putting them on auto ship. Now, maybe you were in so early that I forgot to tell you that you needed to do this. I apologize if that's the case. I didn't spread the word fast enough. But remember, we're not even in pre-launch yet. We don't even officially pre-launch until we bring out that product in a couple of months. Okay, that's when we're really going to have a launch. That's when we're really going to grow. But you need to get them on auto ship. That's where the residual occurs. 2 on the left, 2 on the right. I want you all to make money. Did you realize if you had 12 people on your left and 12 people on your right, and they were on a 100-point auto ship, your residual income is $500 a month. Just with the dirty dozen, 12 on each side. That's $500 a month. That's not big money, but I know people that don't make $500 a month in network marketing. And I can do that with 12 here and 12 there. Now, with any luck, you're going to catch a little spillover. But even if you don't, you know why? It's because you didn't teach it right. Because you didn't get them on the road to Ruby. One other thing. Let's say a person comes in with a $1,000 pack. Let's say they come in with a founders pack. Founders pack, wow, they're getting 4 mojo and they're getting 4 armor. Well, they may not need, if it's just a single person, well, they're not going to go through all that. Even if they give away some samples, they're not going to go through all that. Fine. Get on a subscription for 1 travel point, 2 travel points. I mean, that's what you need to do, folks. And one last thing, and I'm not going to keep you too long because it is summertime. Here's what I'll tell you. Don't be afraid to enroll somebody on a founders pack. I know that sounds crazy, right? I know somebody that's enrolled a bunch of people, and everybody that enrolled was either the 165, the 250, or the 299. Now listen, if they enroll on that number, I'm happy, as long as they're on auto ship and every month 100 points come in. But for you, can you imagine what happens when you enroll somebody for a $1,000 pack and 400 points come in that month and that gets duplicated? Can you imagine if they come in a founders pack and 500 comes in and that gets duplicated? It happens faster. And a lot of people are afraid to even try to get them in a founders pack. Every one of you that I've enrolled, and 25% of the people that I've enrolled, 5 of them or 6 of them now, have come in with founders pack, either $1,000 or the 15 or the founders pack for 15. Why? Because I gave them that as an option. How do I give it to them as an option? You've already heard me talk about it on every webinar, every Zoom I've ever done. How do we get started? Well, here's how you get started for this number. Here's how you get started for this number. Here's how you get started for this number. I give them all 4 options. I don't just give them one, and I don't choose which option is best for them. If I have somebody that wants to come in on a $1,000 pack, I'm not going to say, why don't you come in on the 15 for 500 more? I'm not going to do it. Everybody picks the option that's best for them. If somebody's going to come in on a 250 pack, I'm not going to tell them they should get in. I am going to tell them the advantages of a founders pack. Why don't people do it more? Some people are afraid. Here's what I will tell you. Years ago, my background is as a jeweler. We moved from a big house to a very small house. And all the extra junk that was in the house, my mother and her sister took to a flea market in Massachusetts. One day, a guy comes over to her and says, man, you two are selling stuff. You could make real money selling costume jewelry. Costume jewelry? Yeah, you buy a necklace for $0.25, you charge $1. They retail in the store for $3. This is in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, not far from where Pastor lives, right? He knows about Pawtucket, Onlyville Square. So you buy a necklace for $0.25, you charge $1. In the stores, it's $3. You buy earrings for 12 cents, you charge 50 cents. In the stores, they're $2. Costume jewelry was big. We're talking 1970, okay? So my mother goes out and son of a gun, she starts making money at flea markets selling jewelry. Me, I'm going to Boston University, 1970, the poorest guy in the school. My mother said, I want you to go out. I'll give you half of what you take in. What? Yeah. I says, Ma, I don't know the difference between an earring and a necklace. And these flea markets, you got to be there at 5 in the morning on a Saturday and Sunday. I'm a kid in college. She said, you need the money. I went out the first weekend. I grossed $500. I made $250. Back in 1970, grown men were working all week for $250. I'm saying, this is great. I worked through college. And when I got out of college, I said to my mother, I'd like to own my own. She said, great, own your own. I started buying my own jewelry, selling it. So I want you to think about this. All day I'd be in the hot sun. I would buy a necklace for $1, charge $3. At the end of a day, maybe I'd gross $300. Sometimes it rained on me. Sometimes it was so hot, oh my gosh, because I'm out in the hot sun in a flea market, right? But you gross $300, $100 is the cost, the goods. I'm making close to $200. Man, that's good, right? Making 300% markup. Now, a few years later, I opened up a jewelry store. I was no longer selling little Snoopy necklaces that you could engrave. I'm now selling diamonds, emeralds, rubies, sapphires, pearls. And somebody would walk into my store and I would buy a diamond for $1,000 and I'd charge $2,000. Not the 300% markup for sure. As a matter of fact, sometimes I charge $2,000 but take $1,800. I'd sell one diamond and make $800. I worked all day in the hot sun and the rain to make less than $200. Now I'm in my air-conditioned store. I'm selling a diamond, making $800, $1,000, and eventually I was selling stuff for $5,000 and $10,000. What's the moral of the story? If you chase dollars, you're going to make dollars. If you chase thousands, you're going to make thousands. Now, when people walked into my jewelry store, I didn't automatically try to charge them $10,000 for a tennis bracelet. No. What are you looking for? And I would give them the options. When they were looking at a diamond for their fiance, for their wife, this is a diamond for 1,000. This is 3. This is 5. I'd show them the different ones. I never pre-qualified people. I enrolled 2 people that came in founders packs that I almost didn't even call them because I prejudged them. I said to myself, yeah, they don't even have any money. Mel, I'll see if I can get him in for 165. So I make a presentation, but I didn't stop at 165. I went from 165 all the way to 1,500. I explained to them what the advantages of that 1,500, that 1% of the company shared by the founders, what it could mean down the road, how it could actually be an investment down the road. And they surprised me. They came in for $1,500. As a matter of fact, I just had a friend of mine who's been enrolling people for $250. And when all of a sudden, this woman said, wait a second, I just heard you could sign up for 15. Why didn't you tell me about it? And now she's upgrading to the 1,500. Guys, the bottom line is you got a great opportunity here. You need to go out and get it. We're not even, this is nothing yet. You have seen nothing yet, I promise you. This is a company in its infancy, Not all the kinks are worked out yet. But if you want perfect, you go to Amway. No opportunity, but it's perfect. You go to Herbalife. You go to Melaleuca. Perfect. No opportunity left. No ground floor opportunity. But guys, be coachable. Go out there and enjoy yourself. Spread the word, because everybody on this call right now, none of you got on Facebook. Every one of you got a phone call from somebody, did a follow-up three-way call, and now you're here. I hope this makes sense, and I hope I pushed a button in even one of you today that gets it, that goes forward with it, and starts getting your upline on the phone with more calls. Anyway, guys, I appreciate you. I love you. Let's do this right. And next year at this time, we can all be on the beaches of the world together. I thank you all very much for your time.
Eddie, you
Monday
did an
night, be there Monday.
unbelievable job.
Thank you. Be there Monday night with
Thank
two
you,
guests.
Mr. Eddie.
All right,
Bye.
y'all. Have a good
Thank
one.
you,
Monday at
thank you.
8:30.
Go.
All right, guys. Appreciate
Yes,
you.
sir. I'm done. I was there just to